Primal Chaos. Konnichiwa, Primal Chaos desu. Hopefully I said that right. Primal Chaos here, welcome to the channel. You'll notice I'm wearing my Japanese-inspired Primal Chaos t-shirt today, and that is because we're checking out one of my all-time favorite bands that I purely discovered from doing reactions. I first reacted to Mindset, I Wish I, and then went on to a few live things and a bunch of other stuff. But nobody, particularly in the Japanese scene, has captured my imagination more so than GacharicSpin. So if you're watching this, guys, you're welcome. Absolutely. Thanks for checking this out. But I've started my reaction journey in the heavy metal scene, you know, with aggressive vocals and aggressive guitar and everything like that. And the audience sort of pulled me in a different direction. And I started doing things like a cappella groups and classical opera stuff and things like that, all sorts of different genres. And then I sort of stumbled into the Japanese scene, particularly Japanese metal, Japanese funk, all that stuff. But for whatever reason, the band whose sound I gravitated to the most was GacharicSpin. I don't know what it is. I think mostly it comes down to the fact that they're just purely original in their compositions. You never know what's around the corner. You never know what you're going to hear next or see next. They have a chaotic energy to them, and I just find that to be great fun. So when I heard that Kachi-Kachi Yama was coming out, I was like, I'm definitely reacting to that absolutely on my channel. I just want to say I read through the lyrics. I'm not sure if I know the direction this is going to go, but it almost feels like the storyline to a video game or a cartoon or an anime or something like that. And I love that energy. Let's go. I feel like that's how Angie enters every room. Here we go. It's quite good how she grabbed that piece of paper. Oh, come on. I love the colors. So cool. Okay, so first thing I noticed, which is really interesting, is they've got two drum sets. And at this point, Hannah's playing guitar, but I'm assuming she's going to jump on a kit at some point during the song, which is so wild for a music video. That's really interesting. And also, so far, I love, again, the funk energy. It reminds me a lot of Mindset with its groove. But I noticed, I think, maybe Audio is playing some cool sort of like wah-wah kind of effects on the keyboard, you know, like whoop-whoop sort of sounds and stuff like that in the background, just sort of give it a little bit more texture. It's very cool. Yeah, like there's a woo-woo sort of sounds. Tomozo is just a great funk guitar player as well. Okay. Wow, okay, so that's a big chorus. It's very uplifting and positive, very major key. It makes you feel elated and happy. And I noticed the lyrics sort of match that a little bit. They sort of say, conversely, they say, there's no end in sight to the overflowing discontent, right? Which sounds like it should be sad and bleak. But then the lyrics change and they say, toss out that negative aura. Why don't you try screaming from the pit of your stomach? Let's switch modes and do our best today. So it's actually, the message itself is very uplifting and very powerful. You know, it's like, let's claw ourselves out from underneath that dark cloud of sadness and depression and try our best to to go beyond that. And I think that's a really cool message. It matches the sound of the music as well, which is really cool. Straight back into the funk, baby. I love what Oreo is doing. That's so cool. Okay, hang on. We're gonna go back to that, but that's an interesting change up. So we go from this like just belting funk into something that sounds almost like a grade school, or like a kid's school class gang vocal, all chanting, and it sort of match again. It's so good at matching the energy of the lyrics, and it's got that sort of really cutesy, kawaii kind of video game or cartoon energy. Even their costumes and the colors look like a cartoon. You've got less sort of Japanese cartoon and more Western influence, like Saturday morning cartoons. That must be a thing in Japan. Let me know in the comments, because I know that there's so many bands that sort of have that sort of 60s inspired funk energy that was just so prevalent in those sort of, Western cartoons back in the day. Maybe that style originated from Japan. I don't know. So fill me in the comments. It's really interesting though. It's reminding me of like the Banana Splits or this. I mean, there's so many other, Wacky Races and all those sort of cartoons that had a 60s or 70s vibe to them. They're wearing things like flares and very vivid costumes and stuff that kind of match that. And I think it's deliberate. I think that's part of the whole energy of this clip, is it's supposed to look like a cartoon or a video game. And then you have this part here that's very, it's got like a very childlike energy to it. It sounds like a primary school class, There's even actions that kids can do along, Oh wow, come on, pick it up. So that was cool too. It went from that childlike transition into something that was probably the more aggressive part of the whole song. And it kind of matches the lyrics too, where there's like, where is it? Yeah, one drink won't hurt, please join me. Do I get overtime pay for that? It's got a lot of attitude. Who cares about missing the last train? Stop touching me with your drunk hands. There's a darkness to that it plays counter to the rest of the song, which is so sunny and happy and all that sort of stuff. So this is the great thing about GacharicSpin. They can tread this fine line between a whole bunch of different emotions and moods without you even realizing that they're taking you through that path. Very cool, very cool. And I have no doubt that Angie could kick my ass. 100%. Okay, so Hana's playing drums now. So that must mean Yuri is on the other kit. Yeah. Okay, so we're going into into like Act 3, but before we do that, that was really interesting. So, like I mentioned, that now you have Hana and Yuri both on drums, and it's interesting that Yuri's playing an electric drum kit, and the reason for that is right there. They've moved into sort of like an 80s power synth kind of vibe, and so you can't use real drums for that. You've got to have those 80s sounding electronic drums, you know, like an 808 or something like that, where it's got sort of like that sort of drum sound instead of. Okay, that's a bad example. But you can hear it right there, the transition. Rock drums. Even the bass sounds a little bit synthetic as well. They're just having so much fun, I love it. Come on. I love that the biggest part of the song breaks down to the quietest. That's really cool. And then we're building back up, positive. I was just thinking, if audio released an aerobics tape or like, you know, video, it would sell 1 million copies because she has so much energy. I don't know how anybody can have that much energy. I get gassed out walking up some stairs, but she's just all the time. And on stage, I can't believe you watch a concert of these guys and there's so much energy and they never seem to get worn out. They're always giving 110% at like 2 hours into the concert. There's not a drop of sweat. There's just energy. And I don't know what sort of Red Bull they're drinking or whatever, but I want some of that. Come on. Wow, okay. I need to find it. That's a good frame. All right. Man, I mean, wow, what can you say? Like, there was no surprises here. These guys always deliver 110%, and this is an example of that. Their superior levels of musical proficiency always shine through. They're always playing, they add so much chaos in the background, but it's never that much that it's too much. It's always the exact right amount. It's got an energy to it that flows through the whole song, and they know how to craft the songs perfectly so that you have these massive moments of chaos that then drop away to just a single vocal, you know, of Angie, and then that will slowly ramp back up so that it can then bounce into the chorus again in a way that doesn't sound jarring. Everything just flows, you know, as crazy and chaotic as it is. They're so adept and efficient at making all of the pieces of the puzzle fit together perfectly. And I think that's part of what it is about them that really catches my attention. I mean, there's a million things. There's the fun of everything. There's the energy. They can turn on the attitude when they want to. The level of musicianship is absolutely stellar. But I think at the core, their sole focus is to entertain and to have an amazing, heartfelt energy that doesn't ever feel forced or made up or anything. It's like, I feel like whatever message they're trying to get across is coming from here. And they just deliver that message with such energy and power that, you know, I don't know how anybody could listen to these guys and not love it. It's just so good. You know, they're definitely right up my alley personally. That's about all I got to say. This was a lot of fun. I wasn't sure what direction it was going to go in a world where a lot of people are trying to get heavier and darker and angrier. GacharicSpin seemed to be trying to become less serious and more energetic and bombastic and fun and uplifting and energizing. And you can see that in the way that they perform as well. And so that's, to me, you know, anybody, you know, when all the salmon are swimming upstream, I want to see the guy swimming downstream. You know what I mean? Somebody doing something different. And these guys deliver 100% of the time, every time. So this was a real privilege for me. Thanks again, guys. GacharicSpin, if you're watching this, hope you enjoyed the reaction. I know I certainly did. Anyway, if you feel like I've brightened your day at all, feel free to support the channel just by buying me a coffee. I'll leave a link in the description. You can also hit like, share, follow, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. This was a real privilege again. Thank you so much. Thanks, GacharicSpin, for putting out just an amazing song. And yeah, stay primal. I'll catch you on the next one.